I'm pregnant, but the baby's not yours. I made poor choices today. Split the check 6 ways when 3 people ordered a $4 drink. Like, hey, we're breaking up. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. Today we are diving into a bunch of Reddit stories with the theme of it's all jokes and games until someone stops laughing. I like surprises. I like a good joke. I'm here for a few good puns. You guys know me. I love my dad jokes. But there is a line to be towed in certain topics and relationships. Like, unless everyone's having a little bit of fun, I feel like some jokes go too far and then they just become a little mean, a little bit wonky. So be prepared, guys. I hope you're sitting back, relaxing, grab your drink, because there's some tea to be spilled today in these stories. Let's get into it. Our first story is from the subreddit aita. Am I the a-hole for being furious with my pregnant wife over a prank? 31-year-old male. I've been with my wife Lisa since college, and she's currently 7 months pregnant with our first baby. My wife Lisa is witty and likes to play jokes on me. For example, she likes to pass off fake facts and stories as real and see if I'll believe them. Lisa was a theater kid, and so she's great at acting and selling those stories. I used to fall for her pranks all the time since I'm gullible and she's so convincing. However, now that I've been with her for so many years, I can typically tell when she's messing with me. She's upped the antics over the years, and so she can occasionally get me to believe one of her jokes. Today, when I got home from work, Lisa had tears in her eyes and told me she needed to talk to me about something. I was seriously worried and sat down with her immediately. I asked what was wrong several times, and she kept saying it was hard to talk about and she was terrified I'd leave her. I kept pressing, and she told me she had an affair with her boss several months ago and wasn't sure if the baby was mine. I asked if she was serious, and she said she was 100% serious and started crying even harder. I see where this is going.
Yeah, I see it too, and I don't like where this is going.
No, it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth already. Like, girl, don't do this. To be a bystander, I just want to sit there. If I'm sitting there and observing this conversation, I'm just like, oh, don't do that. Don't go here. Don't do it. Oh. Opie says, I got up, started pacing, and tried to gather my thoughts. After a few minutes, Lisa burst into laughter and said she was just joking. I was furious. I said it wasn't funny in the slightest to make jokes about cheating and the child not being mine. Lisa then said she was a bit offended that I believed that specific prank and not several others. She said she couldn't believe I actually thought she'd cheat on me. She then got teary and asked why I didn't trust her. She faffoed. I feel like this is one of those cases where people just dig a hole and jump in themselves. No one asked for this prank. Wife initiated. You know what is even worse? It's one thing. I mean, it's already bad enough that she joked about cheating, which is kind of a weird joke because what's the haha moment? She brought their not yet born child into it. That's so gross. I think it's a big thing to then say, oh, I'm pregnant, but the baby's not yours. Gotcha. It's just a joke. That's horrible. I feel like this is one of those things where it's not even comedic tragedy. It's just tragic. It's stressful. This would stress me out. I'm dropping it. We haven't dropped. Well, I don't think we've fully dropped it in a few episodes now, but dropping the D. Divorce. OP, this is a very divorceable offense. I mean, at this point, I would almost say, like, what if this wasn't a prank? Because now you're stuck in the weird limbo of what if it's not a prank and she was just saying this to test your reaction? But then what if it's a prank? But then again, do you really want to start a family with someone who thinks this type of prank is okay? So there's so many questions here. Either situation would be bad. I don't know. I'd say it's a divorce. You actually agree with me? He was nodding, guys.
Well, I'm just nodding to what you're saying. I don't know if I'd go to the divorce route yet.
Really?
Yeah, I think at this point, absolutely, the so-called joke was, in my opinion, completely inappropriate. It went way too far. I think at that point, the OP should establish some boundaries if they're willing to do that, I guess, so that these jokes are never to be made in the future. And I don't know what the OP's wife has to do or how she can regain his trust at this point, but I don't know. Maybe it's gonna or it would end up in the divorce, but I think they should try to work that out. But I don't know. I'm not in those shoes. It would be hard for me to uh, put myself in that situation and see how I would feel.
I get such an ick. It's such a gross feeling. Like, imagine you come home from work and your partner's all upset. She pulls on this whole dramatic performance, and then bam, she just drops that bomb, which is kind of like a 2-for-1 BOGO deal there that you got, OP. Like the cheating. Wait, what's even worse is, oh, the joke, she even pulled her boss into it. I cheated with my boss, someone you know of, and the kid's not yours. That's like a layered lie. There's nothing to work out anymore. Maybe I'm too harsh, guys, but see, I'm trying to imagine and put myself in OP's shoes where, okay, say I'm in a relationship where pranks are the norm, right? But I feel like even then, this is not something that you would need to communicate beforehand, because this is kind of like a unspoken common sense thing in relationships. Like, let's not joke about this. Let's not joke about our kid. Let's not joke about the pregnancy. Let's not joke about cheating with bosses. Like, I don't, I just, I'm very curious what she thought was going to happen. Was the husband just going to say, "Oh my God, babe, you're so funny." Oh, ha, ha, ha. Like, and here I thought you had someone else's baby. Oh my God, you're so funny, babe. Was that the reaction she was looking for? Like, I'm confused on in what scenario and what universe this would have worked out. But let's see. Opie says, I asked why I would trust her after she pulled that prank on me. Managed to cry telling me about it and continued with the prank even though I was viably upset. Opie, I think you mean visibly. Lisa said it was harmless and I was blowing things way out of proportion. She continued to ask why I didn't trust her, and I told her I needed some space. I ended up going to a speakeasy and have been away from the house ever since, even though Lisa has called several times. I know it was a prank, but I think this joke went way too far, especially with the tears. I also was clearly upset, as anyone would be, and she should have stopped it as soon as she realized I was actually falling for it. Usually, Lisa's jokes are funny, but this one really got to me for some reason. Am I the a-hole and am I overreacting? I feel badly because she's very pregnant with my child and I don't want to stress her out, but I need space right now. OP, I think you are reacting appropriately, to be honest. Obviously you're not the a-hole. Lisa, your wife, is a massive a-hole though. I cannot believe that she thought this was okay to say. I agree with OP here. Is that, say she goes with the joke and the prank. I think it's almost like there needs to be a point where she gauges the situation, goes, shoot, okay, he's falling for it. This is too real now. It got too real. I need to stop this. But the fact that she pulled the tears, how can you trust anything Lisa says? How can you trust anything your wife says if she's such a good liar to the point where she can lie about this and see you that upset and still continue with it?
Yeah, I also especially didn't like the comment of how can you not trust me, especially since she seems to be playing it so well and saying all of these things. Then at that point, what the OP was doing was trusting her, right?
Right. That's so ironic.
Right.
I shouldn't be laughing. Sorry, guys. It's like I'm cope laughing with this tragic situation with OP. But this is like trustception, right? Because husband trusted the wife. So then he trusted what she said. But then she turned around and said, "Why did you trust me? You don't trust me because you trusted what I said." What?
Right.
Make it make sense. Oh, OP. I am very, very nervous for you. Because if this is your partner as you raise your child, question mark, together, I am nervous. Now, let's see what comments say. First comment, equivalent B says, not the whole, send her fake divorce papers and let her see how funny it is for her. Ooh. Okay. I'm just saying it's a good retaliatory prank. Hey, if she can pull off that, if they're in that dynamic and they think cheating jokes are okay, OP could technically send her the divorce papers and then just say, JK, just kidding. Oops. Is it petty? Yes. Am I encouraging? No. But I wouldn't think OP was doing too much if he did. What do you think? Is this bad advice from commenter?
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad in my opinion. It sounds funny on paper, I guess, but in reality, I don't
See,
know. I think that would just
oh, that would
allow
end.
the pranks and things like pranks to just keep on escalating.
Oh,
I would say the OP needs to, so to say, put the hammer down, I guess, and stop it right here, because further pranks would just
make it worse.
make it worse and potentially escalate or open doors for other, somehow potentially even worse pranks.
I mean, okay, you're right. You're right. I would say hold off on the fake divorce paper, like a counter prank, if you actually want to continue the relationship, OP. But if OP's, trying to exit the relationship, maybe it wouldn't be a prank. Maybe it wouldn't be a prank. I'm just saying. You know what I hate? I hate to see like these horrible pranks. A lot of them go viral. Like there's a lot of accounts or people who are even couples, right? That do pranks on each other. Oh, I'm gonna surprise my girlfriend with like a car or like, nice pranks. I would say like kind of gift related or like fun and kind of wholesome in nature type of pranks. That's nice. But there are some that are so mean, like, what is it? Pretending to cheat so that pretending to cheat on my girlfriend or something prank. I think they're so nasty. There are a lot of viral pranks like that where couples will, I don't know whether they're fake or they're real, play pranks on each other. And they usually involve something like really tragic or really devastating. So, what do you think about those types of pranks?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of it personally.
I'm trying to think of a time I pranked you. Have I ever pranked you before? It's more like I've done surprises. Like I've done like a gift like scavenger hunt thing, like a mini
But that's
one.
not a prank.
Wait, then what constitutes a prank? Is a prank not similar to like a joke? Because I feel like it isn't prank just like a joke, but it's like a gotcha moment included in it.
I guess so. I guess where the other party's unaware of playing a joke on them. I guess that's a prank. So if you're surprising me with a gift,
Yeah.
I mean, you could potentially be a prank,
Technically,
but
I guess it's not quite the same.
um,
Say if you were looking for a wallet or something. You're about to leave and you were looking for your wallet and I hid it for no reason, just to be like, aha, like got you. Would you enjoy that prank?
no, I think you're being an a-hole.
Are there any such thing as non-a-hole pranks then when you think about it?
I'd say if the other person is, I guess, laughing at it
Yeah.
or laughing
Like
with
enjoying
you,
it?
yeah, or enjoying it, where, in my opinion, you don't go too far. I don't know what the good prank would be.
Oh, I know what a good prank is. Okay, babe. Next time we go out, say instead of getting one boba tea for me, right? And you're like, oh, I got you one boba tea. And instead you got me like two boba teas and a snack. Oh my gosh, I guess you got me. Haha, what a good prank. I would take that.
Boo.
No, that's a good one. It's a good one. And see, I would be laughing at it. Me, the subject of the prank, would be laughing. We would all have a good time. So that's a good prank, right?
I think it would be gorging on the bubble teas and snacks.
Oh,
etc.
absolutely. Now, our next story is, if you guys have tuned into an episode with us before, is our wild pick. Wild pick is literally just a story that's a little bit kooky, a little bit out there sometimes, chaotic, but when I saw it, I said, you guys have to hear this. So this one is from the subreddit aita. Am I the a-hole for using fart spray to get my uncle to stop with his cruel prank? My Uncle John has a super fun way to make kids cry. He will get the oil from lemon rinds and touch balloons. Sometimes they pop immediately, sometimes they take a few seconds. Oh, that's a nifty trick. I didn't know that. So if you get oil from lemon rinds and touch balloons, they pop? Never heard of that one.
Yeah, that's interesting.
See, there are some inventions and some discoveries that first thing I'm thinking in my head is, how on earth does one discover this? How does one stumble upon this truth? Okay. Opie says, at every party I've ever attended where there were balloons and children, he left a trail of torn latex and crying children. My parents think it's all in good fun. I think he's a prick. Okay, this is debatable. I was gonna say this prank is pretty harmless because technically Uncle is just popping balloons. But the fact that he specifically does it when there's balloons and children involved, does your uncle hate kids? I'm getting the feeling like he's just like this, probably like, I'm imagining like a bigger dude for some weird reason, like with a booming, like laughing voice. And he's like, ha, 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 I'm gonna pop all your balloons, kids.
I think he does it because because the kids are easy targets.
Oh, that's so bad.
They can't really retaliate as well.
Oh, I just feel bad. Every like birthday party Uncle gets invited to, it's like, all you hear is pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, Uncle seems like a bully.
He is. Opie says, my sister had her quinceañera last week. My contribution was a balloon arch. Opie. Opie. I bet you Uncle's invited to this. Opie, you should have known better. The minute the word balloon is mentioned, I bet you the uncle's ears just go, what? Did someone call me? Opie says, my sister was obviously turning 15 and didn't really care about balloons. But we got some very nice pictures with the arch. Then I set it up outside on some astroturf. What the heck is an astroturf? It sounds so cool. Do you know what astroturf is?
I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's like, I guess, like a playground material. That's what I would think it is. But
Why
look
does
it
it
up.
sound like something spacey? Oh, interesting. So astroturf looks like the fake grass or fields that you see a lot of sports being played on. Like this material. It's like a green fake grass on a mat. That's how I envision it. I did not know that. Interesting. So artificial grass turf. OP, I have to say, what a naive set of like poor decisions. I like how OP acknowledged the uncle's obsession with, popping balloons at celebrations when they're kids, but then also acknowledges that her sister doesn't really like balloons, but then she went, let me get my sister a balloon arch, knowing my uncle's going to be here. OP, what did you think? Okay, well, let's see. Before I judge OP.
So another thing, does the uncle like carry around a bunch of lemons with him all the time, or how does that work? Does he have like a bunch of lemon in the back of his car or something?
Oh my gosh. Does he just carry wait, I don't even know how you get oil from the lemon rinds, but what if he has a little vial of oil, like a little travel size, and he just kind of pulls it out every single celebration, goes rubs it and then starts popping balloons.
So it's not lemon juice?
No, it's OP says oil from lemon rinds. So
interesting. I never seen that. Like
I've never seen
I didn't know
either.
that lemons had oil in, like the rind of the lemon had oil in it.
I didn't know either. I'm just imagining this man is at home with his contraption. He has some sort of contraption to I don't know, compress oil out of lemon rinds, and then he specifically uses it for parties and celebrations. I have so many questions for the uncle. Now, OP says, a few other people used it for pictures as well. Then my uncle showed up. I went up to him and told him that I paid for the arch for my baby sister's party and that I wanted him to leave it alone. He said he would. He did not. I didn't want any accidents inside, so I didn't add the 3 balloons with fart spray to the arch until I moved it outside. And the balloons were double baggers. I had blown up one inside another before I inflated the outer one, but you could see the inside balloon. It was too much of a temptation. He resisted for 10 minutes or so. Then someone came and told me. I went out. He was about to pick up the inner balloon, and I told him not to touch it and to stop blowing up the decorations. He didn't listen. He said he wasn't doing anything except touching the balloons and that it wasn't his fault they were popping. So be it. He picked up the inner balloon. It wasn't as inflated as the outer, so the surface tension was lesser. Therefore, it took almost 2 seconds for the balloon he was holding so proudly to pop. Gagging, dry heaving, watery eyes, a profound desire to be elsewhere. I went through all of that. I cannot imagine what it would be like to be drenched in the liquid form of fart spray. Drenched is an overstatement. There was maximum half a fluid ounce of fart liquid in the balloon, but he was covered in it. And the pop did aerosolize it somewhat, so it got all over. He ended up having to go home and change. It was only like half an hour he was gone. Maybe an hour, I wasn't paying attention. He did come back though, freshly showered, and he's pissed that I would play such a childish prank at such an important event for my family. I said I had no idea what he was talking about. I reminded him that he had promised to leave the balloons alone and that I warned him not to touch the balloon that got him. My family is divided. They think I was a jerk to play a joke at my sister's party, but they're almost universally sick of him popping balloons. My grandfather laughed his ass off. Am I the a-hole? I think this is a very classic case of FAFO. Uncle effed around and found out. I mean, he was warned multiple times. A grown man, I'm just imagining this grown man standing next to his children's balloon arch, and he's just like maniacally laughing, like rubbing all over the balloons, like with his oily lemon fingers. I don't know. And then they're just popping, and he coincidentally happens to pop the one with fart spray. OP, well played. Checkmate. Well played. Oh, this is so good. And kudos to you, OP. You're brave. Not many people would be brave enough to retaliate against an annoying uncle or annoying relative at a family celebration because there's always the family pressure of, oh, no, like, don't do that. Be the bigger one. You're above that. And to this I say, yes, stoop low, OP. Stoop lower than uncle. Yes. Douse him with that fart spray. I like it. Is this petty? I love it.
I was gonna say, usually I'm the one that's like, I guess, don't do petty things.
Yeah, don't.
But in
no,
this
don't
case,
do
you know
that.
what? I think it's well deserved.
The balloon popping tyranny must end. And OP
Yeah.
did it.
It's just so weird that the uncle is so obsessed with the balloons. It's almost like he learned one party trick and now he's doing the same party trick in everywhere he goes. He has to do it. It's just so I don't know.
So cringy.
Right? Learn the new party trick.
Oh God, no. Do we really want to know? What if his next party trick is like unwrapping people's gifts or something? Oh my gosh. Or worse, like here, what's another like rude like house guest thing to do? Seasoning the host family's food. What if he starts going in the kitchen, starts re-cooking or adding stuff to their food?
Who does that though?
People do that.
No way.
Yeah, people do that. People definitely do that. It is so weird. I don't get it, but people do that. Now, I'm a little bit pissed at the family because OP mentioned that the family's kind of divided. Some people are like, no, like you're a jerk. Why are you playing a joke at sister's party? Hello? Uncle does this at every single party. Why aren't they yelling at him? OP's the one that actually has the guts to do something about it. If anything, they should be backing OP up.
Yeah. I mean, one argument could be that the fart spray is like, I guess, way more of an escalation than just popping a balloon.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like Uncle will learn. I mean, hopefully Uncle will think twice before popping a balloon next time. My concern though is with family members like this or people like this, OP, it's going to happen again. He's definitely not going to give up. This is going to escalate for sure. I think next time Uncle will just make sure that the balloon he's popping isn't double lined. Because OP mentioned she only added 3 balloons and a whole arch with the fart spray. So it was just coincidence that he ended up popping one of them. Oh, but good for you, OP. You stood your ground. That's kind of satisfying. I love it when OPs don't have to wait for us or people on the internet to kind of scream at them and say, do something. Don't stand for this. Like, I love it when they stand up for themselves. Let's see what the comments say. First comment from Snow Bear. Not the whole. If he can play pranks, so can others. If he can't take it, then don't dish it. I agree. Well said. Well said. Another comment. From Piglet Technical, not Natejo, he had it coming. I would agree. I mean, it wasn't that bad. Imagine if OP included something like pepper spray. That would be 10 times worse. That I think would be way too out of line. But fart spray is, see, I've never toyed around with fart spray or used it, but does it stick to you or cling to you the way, like, I don't know, a skunk smell does? Probably not, right?
I don't believe so.
Because I'm thinking it's kind of like a party trick thing or party prank thing. And Uncle returned in like half an hour. So it's probably not that bad. He was able to change and just come back. OP, you're fine. Well, there's no verdict on this story yet since it's so new, but most of the comments are saying not the whole, and I have to agree. What do you think?
Not the a-hole.
I'm surprised. We're in agreement on a lot of these stories today.
I mean, I think we usually are. It's just maybe a little different takes on.
Yeah. Usually I'm more for the yes, take your revenge, OP, yes. And you're like, no, let's not escalate it. So I'm surprised that we're both like, oh, that's kind of justified. Now, it wouldn't be an episode without a food story. I didn't intentionally pick this one because it was food related, guys, but here we go. This story is from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for not ordering any food so I wouldn't have to split the bill? I, 27-year-old male, have been part of a small friend group, around 8 people total, basically since college. For some background, 2 people from the group, Susan and Greg, are just absolute leeches. Going out for lunch, expect them to order the most expensive on the menu, then feed you some sob story about their finances, and then dump half the bill on you. Oh, okay. I'm curious what you guys think about group ordering group menus. I've gone kind of hesitant sometimes with eating out with large groups, unless I know the group really well. Because it's almost like unless it's discussed beforehand, it's always a toss-up on what's going to happen. Like, are we splitting the bill equally? Are we, depending on how big the party is everyone just paying for their own? But then how are you going to factor it? You have to let them know beforehand to split the bill. But then are you splitting the check like 6 ways? Who has the Venmo? Who after? It gets kind of crazy and fuzzy depending on what group you're with. So generally when I go out to eat with friends, I think the deal is one person uses their card just because it's easier so that we don't have to ask for the restaurant to kind of split it 6 ways or however many ways. And then we just Venmo the person. And we calculate, we split tip, obviously, and tax and all that stuff on our meal. For groups 3 or less, maybe 4, you could kind of push it for the 4. It's fine to just split the check 4 ways or 2 ways or 3 ways. Like if it's easier that way and your group wants to roll that way, fine. But anything beyond, honestly, 4 is kind of pushing. Anything beyond party of 4, I feel like the easiest way is just to remember what you order, get an itemized receipt, then just Venmo, Zelle, hand the money over to whoever, put their card down. What is your perspective on this?
I pretty much agree with you.
Yeah?
With what you said. But I particularly don't like if, let's say, I'm in a big group and especially maybe people I don't know that well.
Yeah.
It's always, usually there's at least some people that are gonna order a bunch of things, and then when it comes time to so-called split the bill, it's evenly split. And
oh no!
Yeah, I don't personally. I don't like that. Let's say I was the person that's ordering more food. I wouldn't feel right having someone else to pay for my stuff.
No.
And at the same time, if I'm on the receiving end, I don't want to pay for someone else's food, because at that point it almost seems like they're using that as a way to order more and have someone else pay for it.
Yeah.
So with our friend groups or friend group, I guess, or groups, usually even if one person pays, we kind of just do basic math to figure out who ordered what and split the bill that way. I think that's the right way. Although I can see some people saying, well, who cares? It's just a few dollars there, a few dollars there. But
I think it depends on the group. Like, obviously, generally, when we're going out with friends, like, we don't really care if there's like $1 difference. I think most of the time we are just splitting equally. But one thing I think we try to do is if we're eating with a group and we haven't discussed, I try to mirror order what everyone else around me is ordering. So not to give any weird impression or pressure to anyone else. Like I try to match it. Like if everyone's ordering an entree and a drink only, I'm not going to order an extra appetizer. I'm just going to order an entree and a drink to match everyone else.
Right, to order a bunch of drinks additionally. That's just, I don't know.
I feel like that's kind of like an a-hole-ish move. No? It's kind of weird because you have to know the person ordering that much food more than the rest of the group. You have to know mentally, not only did you throw off our equality balance, right? You can't split the bill like equally now, right? But you kind of made it weird because then it's like you have to literally itemize now. There's no other way around it. Like you literally have to pay for exactly what you ordered as the person who ordered so much food.
Yeah, but then at that point, you're kind of pressured by the whole group to not so-called make you weird and now ask for everyone to pay for their own stuff.
But see, why is that weird? Like, I hate this. Maybe this is a social etiquette thing that I'm just, I just don't get along with. But I would not be above to saying, hey, since so-and-so ordered 2 extra entrees, how about, they put down their card and we can work on itemize and like Venmo them or Zelle them. Or whoever's putting down the card, like, let's just pay for our own. I wouldn't mind being the person to say that. But I feel like it gets weird because I've been in groups. No one ever says it. Why doesn't anyone ever point it out? It's so annoying, especially the person who orders more. Like, shame on you. It is so weird.
Because I think at that point, it might seem that you would come off as an a-hole.
See, but then it comes off like, oh, you're counting pennies. I'm like, you ordered like $30 more worth of food. This is not pennies. See, I have a personal story about this. I'll tell you guys in a second. But let's get back to OP's situation. OP says, last week, Dan, one of the people from the group, told me about a casual dinner. I told him how if Susan or Greg were there, I wouldn't be able to come. He tells me that they would be there, but I should just put my opinions aside and come just once. OP, there's your mistake right there. You knew. Don't go if Susan or Greg is coming. The leeches. OP says, this is kind of where I might be an a-hole. I agreed with him and told him I would be there. I show up and we all get to talking. Everyone began putting in their orders. Most of them spent around $40. There were only about 6 people there. When it gets to Susan and Greg, they both order expensive dishes around $200. When it was my turn to order, everyone looked at me, but I just picked up the menu and pointed to the $4 Miller Lite and sent the waiter away. Dan asked why I hadn't ordered anything, and all I said was that I lost my appetite. The other 2 friends got up as well to cancel their orders and just have drinks. Oh, okay. Well played, OP. Okay. I was a little bit worried for OP.
See, I like that. I think the other people are definitely picking up on that and they don't want to participate.
Yeah. Okay. I've never thought of participating this way or indirectly not participating in this way. I always thought there was only 2 things you can do. Either you mimic what everyone else is kind of ordering in their price range and you kind of match the group, or you don't show up at all and you don't go. But okay, OP, creative. Okay. Because OP only got a $4 drink. There is no freaking way Susan and Greg, wait, is it Susan and Greg? Yes. There is no way Susan and Greg with their $200 orders, when everyone else ordered $40 worth of food, is going to sit there and say, let's split it equally. Right? That would be shameless. There's no way. But I like that the 2 other friends picked up on it and was like, ooh, we're going to cancel our orders. We're also only going to get $4 drinks. OP says, after the main courses came out, I saw Susan and Greg picking at their food. The waiter then brings over the check. Greg then grabs the waiter and asks him to split the check 6 ways. I stand up and correct him, saying the check was to be split 3 ways. Greg looks at me confused and asks why, since we always split the bill. I reminded him that 3 of us had not eaten any food, so we would just be paying for our drinks. So basically, at the end of the night, Dan, who probably only ate around $50 worth of food, was stuck with a $146.98 check at the end. Yes, I remember the exact number. I swear I saw his jaw drop when he picked that receipt up. I slid a $10 towards the check, said goodbye, everyone, and walked out. Mic drop. Oh my gosh, OP. Like the way I'm envisioning this in my mind that this happened, OP just kind of smoothly slides over his $10 bill, stands up, brushes his top, then just goes, "Ladies and gents, good evening." And then just walks out the door all like suave and smooth. And everyone at the table is just like jaw on the floor. So satisfying. I think this was pretty a nice way to go about it. What do you think?
Mm, yeah, but at the same time, is what is his name? Dan,
Yeah.
the guy who paid the bill. Like,
Yeah.
is he not aware of what's going on here?
Dan is just lost. He's lost in the sauce. I don't know what Dan was thinking. Oh, wait. Okay, here's my guess. I think Dan, who probably initiated the hangout and is friends with everyone and is the one that persuaded OP to come. He's the friend that's trying to keep the peace. He's trying to brush it over. He's trying to just not get into it with everybody. He's just saying, no, calm. We're just gathering together. Like, I think Dan has been enabling the behavior of Susan and Greg. He's that one friend who's never going to call out his friends for it, but he's just going to go along despite not agreeing with it. One might say that Dan's a bad friend, even if he's like going along with it, especially because he's doing that.
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know, when you see this type of behavior, and
Yeah.
especially when you see someone ordering so much more food,
Yeah.
and then when it comes to pay the bill, and then you say split it equally, I think you're kind of part of the problem as well, because you're not noticing the
Yeah.
bad behavior.
Maybe this is a hot take. Dan kind of deserves it in a way. He had the same choice that the three had, right? I'm canceling my order, because two people got up to cancel the order and decided, I'm just going to order a little drink. Because if this hangout is truly about friends getting together, it shouldn't matter what everyone's ordering, right? Like, why has it become such an issue that like, oh, well, we're splitting it 6 ways? And also, Greg's audacity. I could not. A grown man, he's waving the waiter over and he goes, split the check 6 ways when 3 people ordered a $4 drink and you and Miss Susan over here ordered $200 worth. That's so crazy. Also, that's probably a very awkward dinner, because I imagine OP's just like sipping and the 3 people at the table, at least 3 people, know exactly what's going on and they're just sipping their drink. And then I guess Dan and Susan bless their digestive tract that they are just, just eating, having a grand old time, just eating all this food and operating with the mindset that, oh, this meal is basically paid for by my friends. That's wild. I would not invite them out or go eat out with them anymore after this, to be honest, OP. Who would you be in this scenario? Would you be Dan, the friend that tries to keep the peace and go along with it? Would you be Greg and Susan?
Definitely
or would
not.
you be OP or the people that canceled the orders? What would you do?
In the future, if this were to happen, I would be the person that would order the drink, or would just potentially cancel my food, or I don't know.
I think it takes a certain level of bravery to do that, though. The audacity after hearing that they ordered $200 worth of food, the waiter's like, oh, okay, so you'll have the steak dinner and the side of mash and the creme brulee dessert. And for you, sir, I'll have a drink.
Yeah, or I would potentially say, I would at the very end, I'm just gonna pay for my own stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awkward though. Can you imagine? It's like, how like conversations starting to die down. Everyone's like, getting ready, wait for the check and leave. I'm just imagining you just go, so guys, I'm just gonna pay for my stuff, okay? That's so awkward.
I mean, it is what it is.
I want to say I would be brave enough to be the first guy, OP here, to be like, no, I'm just gonna order a $4 drink. But to be honest, I probably would try and match the $200 order instead. Like, if the whole table's ordering 200, I feel some sort of weird way and be like, fine. I agreed to go to the group event, so I must get with the group. Here I go, dropping $200 when I didn't want $200 worth of food. And then I'd be upset and cry about it to Em after when I get home. I'd be like, babe, I did something bad. I made poor choices today. But if in the group someone stood up and said, actually, I'm just getting a drink, I would go and cancel my order. I would have no shame. because the pressure would be off that someone else also did it. But let's see how things play out here. Opie says, the next morning, I found my phone full of texts from Greg and Susan telling me I was an a-hole for not ordering any food and forcing them to pay more than they had accounted for. I honestly...
Oh, wait, what? The audacity.
Oh my God. So they admitted it. How dare you make me pay for my own food? That's basically what they said.
Right. They didn't pay their fair share, in my opinion.
No, because even poor Dan also paid for their food. So I don't know what they're talking about. I'm dead. Wait, are Greg and Susan together? Because if they're not, they're kind of a match made in heaven. Like, who does this? Like, it's hard enough to find one person like this, but to find two of them like this? Wow. Like, Opie doesn't specify, but I kind of ship Greg and Susan. Opie says, I honestly laughed because the steaks alone were more than what they had paid. But to each their own, right? Oh, I was right. They had a whole fancy steak dinner. Opie says, I also got a lot of messages from Dan saying that I could have just not come instead of pulling that stunt and getting him stuck with an outrageous bill.
Man, the audacity of these people.
I think Dan's a coward. So Dan won't confront Greg and Susan, but he's going to complain to OP that he got saddled with a check when Greg and Susan's were the ones to order the food. What? I feel like you called the wrong number, Dan. It's like barking up the wrong tree, dude.
So it kind of seems that the whole hangout is not even about them hanging out, but just them footing the bill, right?
Yes,
that's what
free
it seems
meal.
like it's about.
Basically almost free meal. Yeah. Isn't that wild? Oh my gosh. So there are a few edits from OP here. Edit 1. At this restaurant, the bar is separate, so drinks are on a separate bill, if that makes sense. And if anyone's concerned about leaving a tip, I live in Australia. Oh, Australia is also non-tipping place. Interesting.
Oh, is it non-tipping or like less tipping?
Well, here OP just says that like anyone who's concerned about tips, like they live in Australia. So I guess people don't tip. Like that's not part of the culture in Australia. Let's move to Australia.
I was going to say that.
Let's move to Australia. Like, tipping culture is so weird in the US, I swear. Edit 2. Hey guys, just wanted to clarify some things. 1. 90% of restaurants where I live, they don't do separate checks and might separate the bill for you if you're lucky. By the way, this post is in AUD. So if you want the amounts in USD, you have to convert it. As someone who does live in the US, when I read posts or I read things, automatically my brain will just think dollars, right? If there's no unit specified. But I'm also not angry if whoever is talking about their situation doesn't automatically convert to USD. Because, I mean, if OP's Australian, why would he write his post and convert all the numbers to USD, right? But some people get mad about it. Like, people get mad that things aren't converted for them already.
Can kind of quickly do the mental math here.
I mean, yes. Okay, but honey, most people won't know off the top of their mind like the general conversion rates.
I guess that's why, since I would say Reddit is, I don't know if it's predominantly US platform. I guess it's English speaking.
Yeah, English speaking. So a lot of US speakers. That's true.
Yeah, US, UK, Australia, etc. Right? I don't know. I personally don't care.
I don't care either, but
like easy enough to do the math.
Said no one ever. Said no one ever read it. Oh, here's a fun fact about Mr. Deep Voice here that you guys might not know about. So if I'm online shopping or looking at international store or somewhere that their normal unit isn't in USD, right? You would think, okay, yes, I'm aware I could Google this. Usually I just turn to M and go, honey, so how much is this in USD? And he's just like, oh, that's about this amount. And then when we check it, he's usually like really close, like down to like the dollar. So that's his unique party trick. Instead of popping balloons, he's able to convert a lot of different units very quickly.
Actually, not like feet and like miles and feet, etc. That's the one that I have to think about.
Yes,
the American units, I'd call them. I don't think that US is the only country that does that. I mean, UK.
For what? For standard?
UK also has some weird units, like
really,
like for weight they use stone.
No way.
Yeah. How many stones? I guess stones? Do you use plural? I guess how many
Really?
stones?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, is that bad? My plebeian knowledge of this. The first thing I'm thinking is like people holding actual stones and going, so how many stones?
Oh, I lost half a stone.
Guys, it's all in good fun. If anyone's in UK would like to correct us or share your knowledge on the stone conversion in the UK, it would be greatly appreciated. Educate me on this, if you will. That's interesting, though. I feel like I would not be able to stop laughing if I had a unit of measurement of stone.
I think you will get used to it.
I don't-
So you get used to using feet, I guess, for everything.
yeah,
in
but it's so
US.
dumb. Even I think it's dumb that we use standard instead of metric because it's so annoying to convert. You know how many times we had
I
conversations?
thought standard and metric was the same thing.
No.
Oh, okay.
I
Never
thought
mind.
I thought metric system was centimeters, decimeters, like everything in like units of tens and thousands. And then standard was, I guess what US calls it is like feet, yards, miles, right?
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
I thought I'm doing a quick search.
I don't know. It's been a long time, guys, since I've had to like think about the terminology for this.
Anyways, that doesn't. I don't think
Well,
it really
you get the
matters.
point. You get the point.
Yeah.
OP says, another edit here. Dan could have easily asked Greg and Susan to transfer him the money if he wanted, but he's always been about helping them through their financial hardship, even though they're just using him and keeps dragging me into it. I admit what I did was immature, but I'm tired of being forced to play along. It's his money, and if he wants to spend it on them, that's fine, but I'm not paying for them. I agree. I think Dan is just a pushover. And also, what financial hardship? They're out here ordering $200 steak dinners. Is financial hardship in the room with us? Honey, can we be in this financial hardship that they're speaking of? Can we also go out and spend $200 on steak dinners willy-nilly?
See, but they're not spending that.
Oh, that's true. Oh, dang. Maybe the financial. I mean, I don't encourage it. I don't condone Greg and Susan's behavior, but when you think about it, it's a pretty diabolical plan. How to score free dinners. Don't actually learn from those guys. Do not take these tips. Another edit 3. Also, Dan's a really good friend of mine, albeit blind AF. I was just trying to get him to see what kind of people he was helping. I will admit it was a tad bit petty. 4, thank you for the gold. What does getting gold mean on Reddit?
See, I don't know what comes with it. I know it's kind of
Like an award? Like your
yeah,
post
but
gets
I
an
think
award?
you can. I think redeem it for some benefits on Reddit. I don't know what they are.
Oh. Ah. So you guys are probably like confused on why, as someone who reads so many Reddit stories with you guys, that I don't know. I read stories, guys, but I'm a lurker. I do not participate. I don't engage. I am a homebody engager. I say
What?
as I read this to you guys on the internet.
Homebody engager? What does that mean?
Like I say I lurk around like
So you're a lurker.
yeah, but lurker doesn't sound as nice. Homebody engager.
What?
That's my official term for
How do you
this.
come up with that?
I don't know. It feels right though. Homebody
I guess
engager.
I'm missing something here.
I don't know. It makes sense to me.
Okay.
First comment from Pale Needle Worker. Even if you were not actually hungry, I would still say not the a-hole. They clearly premeditated this whole event and expected others to take the financial fall for their lifestyle. Hope Dan opens his eyes, but right now they seem super glued shut. Good for you though. Opie responded, yeah, they do this all the time. I guess I was feeling a little cheeky that night. Dan's a bit stubborn, but I wouldn't be surprised if he still thinks I was in the wrong and not them.
I like the Australian lingo. Cheeky. They should say that in US.
They should. I was feeling a little cheeky. I feel like, is cheeky the same thing as like, I was feeling a little sassy. I was feeling a little, feeling myself today. Is it kind of like that? That's how I interpret it.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound as good.
Yeah,
In
I
US
think cheeky's
lingo,
way
I
better.
guess.
I think from now I'm going to use that. Feeling cheeky. Another comment from Apart, not the a-hole. Quote, the next morning I found my phone full of texts from Greg and Susan telling me I was the a-hole. In reference to this, commenter says, Dan was the one who told you to put your opinions aside and just come, right? Well handled. Your friends must have thought so too because they followed suit. Dan got caught out. What I'm wondering though is why any of you continue socializing / being friends with people who not only constantly leech off you, but openly admit to doing so. Okay, for real, but this is the real question I have. Is this one of the things where I'm out of the loop on friendship? Or maybe I'm just a weirdo? But me and my friends, when we hang out, it's kind of like, it's down to Christmas presents. Like, okay, let me explain to you guys. For Christmas presents, me and some of my girlfriends, we do like a gift exchange, right? But we literally have a conversation about a budget that everyone's comfortable with. This sounds so boring and weird, but we literally go, oh, like someone, like for example, one of my girlfriends, she was saying, this was like a tough year for me. I'm dealing with some things on the side. So is it okay if we keep the budget under this amount for the gift exchange for Christmas? And I call it gift exchange, but it's literally just us meeting for dinner, lunch, hanging out, and giving each other Christmas presents. And me and the other girls were just like, yeah, absolutely. Sure. Let's do that. And it's never been an issue. There's never been weirdness. And it also helps a lot because then no one feels obligated because someone went too over budget and then someone went, way too casual with a gift. I think it's a pretty good way to go about it. Why are people, and like especially friends, not more transparent with each other financially? Okay, wait. In context of the story, let me rephrase. Not transparent to the point where you're blaming your friends for not paying for your $200 dinner. I'm not talking about that type of transparency. But I mean just saying, hey, if you're actually dealing with financial hardship, let's, I don't know, hang out with, there are free options. You guys can go, I don't know, chat in the park together. Do a little Trader Joe's shopping trip. Like
That's not a free option.
Okay, no, but it's more affordable than $200 in a restaurant, and you could still hang out together. Or you could walk in Target. Walking in Target is free.
That's
Same
not.
as IKEA. Yes, it is.
It is not.
What do you mean it's not?
You're gonna end up getting something.
I mean, that's different. That's a different problem. But generally free and fun. Free fun. Right? I don't know. I could come up with a whole list of free fun ideas. If you guys want some more ideas, like let me know. Let me know in the comments. I will let you know. But I am confused because some friendships I look at and they're held together by like a very flimsy string, right? But when I look at this friendship, it's held by purse strings, your purse strings, OP, and the friend group's purse strings. Like, why are you guys friends? Am I the one who's baffled by this friendship? Where is the give and take, or where is the friendship part?
It's a one-way friendship.
Oh, definitely one way. And Dan, you're a dummy. Dan's a dummy. Like, what are you thinking? And the audacity, not only are you too much of a coward to stand up for yourself, but you're dragging other people into it. You're not a friend. You're an enabler. I don't know why I'm so pissed at Dan now. Like, at the end of the day, Dan's an idiot, and Greg and Susan are mooches and leeches. Like, Opie, you did good. I applaud you. I applaud you for your efforts. And commenters on Reddit voted the story not the whole. I agree. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know how they could be a-holes here, to be honest.
I'm still reeling from the fact that Dan called OP to be like, how could you do that to me, man? You made me pay for an expensive dinner. Oh my gosh, you know what's crazy? When I think about it, Dan ordered $50 worth of food, but his bill was $147. He paid 2 times his meal.
Yeah, so doing quick math, I guess. So Susan and, what was that? Susan Craig?
Oh, Greg.
Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess $200 each or so. Then Dan ordered around $50, right?
So they paid even less for their own meal.
So split it in three ways. I guess that's about $150 each. So let's say if there are 6 people total, right? And other 2 people order $50 each.
Yeah.
Be 150 extra. That's about 600. So each one of them would have paid about 100. If I guess the OP and then 2 other people ordered about $50 each.
So there's a time when I went out to eat with my girlfriends, and there was this one guy that tagged along, right? But he knew where we were going. Like, we were all mutually agreed upon, let's go out for lunch, right? Tell me how this one guy was trying to get with one of my girlfriends. So, and she wanted him there too. So we were all like, sure. Like, it's not like a formal girls' night or anything like that. We're just meeting up for a casual meal, whatever. I remember it was at a Chili's. So we went in. This is so random. Like, I don't like Chili's food. I don't understand why people eat at Chili's.
I've never been.
it's just the most bland, mediocre food ever. It just tastes like everything's frozen and microwaved. Like Chef M, not you, the chef microwave, like was at work in the back and pulled out food. I feel like you guys, like, my comment's gonna pull out a bunch of avid chili fans who are gonna be yelling at me. Maybe I didn't have the right food at Chili's.
You better be careful here, V.
Regardless. So we all get to the restaurant. It's like an hour and a half, like before I had to go to a family dinner thing. So I was kind of in between like events and I'm like, man, if I eat here, I can't eat at the event, right? So then I said, you know what, guys, like I can't eat. Like I literally like have an event to go right after this. So I'm not going to eat. Like I might order something. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but is that okay with everyone? So no one had an issue. And this was before we got to the restaurant that I told everybody. So they knew I wasn't ordering anything, right? We get to the restaurant. Tell me how. So everyone's ordering food like a normal entree. I get nothing because, you know, I told everyone and I'm just there to chill before I have to bow out and leave early to get to my next event, whatever. We sit down and eat. It gets to the end of the meal. Like everyone's ordering like a regular size entree. I go to the bathroom. I come back. The dude is gone. So now there's like me and 3 other girls. They're sitting there and they're pissed. And I'm just confused. I'm like, what happened? I just went to go to the bathroom. Like, what? And they're like, he just left. And I'm like, okay, is everything okay? And they're like, no, he said he had to run. And I said, okay, well, I hope everything's fine with him. I'm still confused on why everyone's pissed at this point. And they go, he didn't pay. So he dined and dashed. This one dude who's trying to get with one of my girlfriends dined and dashed without a word. And the entire table is just sitting there fuming like all these girls are, I mean, they're fed. All my girlfriends are fed, but they're sitting there pissed, right? And I'm like, wait, did he just like leave? Who does that? And they're just like, exactly. One of the girls like called him, right? And they go, what the F? Like, you just left without paying. The heck? And he goes, oh, sorry, I forgot. And then she's like, well, get your, back here right now and pay for this. And so he comes back. He comes back and he pays, right? But then I think there was an issue where he paid for his meal, but he didn't put around enough for the tip too. So it was kind of like his food, but not tax and tip. So it's technically not everything he ate, I guess. So all the girls are pissed. And then he like went running again. Like I think he slapped down the bills and then like went running again. So it's not like we could be like, you missed like $5 for tax and tip, dude. So then I'm sitting there, I feel bad because now my girlfriends are saddled with like a slightly bigger bill than they anticipated because this guy went and did that. And also the stress of the whole waiting for him to come back while we're sitting here with the check. So then I chip in. Guys, I chipped in. I didn't eat anything. I didn't even order a drink. And then now looking back, I'm like, I should have just at least ordered a drink. Because at that point, I was hungry, right? But I was saving it because I had to go eat with my family right after. So then I'm sitting there hungry, a little bit sad. But then I felt weird because I'm just like, but then I want to leave my girlfriends like that. So then I put money in. I don't remember. I didn't put in much. Like I think I put in like $8 or something to like contribute to the pot or whatever to pay. But I remember I was like, I wish I at least ordered a drink or an appetizer that day because I paid, but I didn't even eat anything. So that's my story, guys. Curse you, human, who shall not be named. You know who you are. It's okay, guys. I don't mind like telling these stories because none of the people I tell stories about ever tune in. Thankfully, they're not watching me, so
That you know of.
There's no way. And if they are, then if you think the story is about you, it's not. It's not about you, okay? Gosh. Now, our last story is from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for laughing at my sister's relationship troubles? So, I, 28-year-old female, have a younger sister, Emily, 25-year-old female, who was with her high school sweetheart, Jake, since she was 14. They dated all through high school and college, and honestly, they were the epitome of a perfect couple. Jake was always so thoughtful. He'd surprise her with gifts, plan elaborate dates, and he literally lit up whenever she was around. They even talked about getting married. Fast forward to a few months ago, Emily cheated on Jake and broke up with him to be with her affair partner, Mark. Since then, she's been complaining to me about how Mark doesn't do any of the romantic things Jake used to do. Apparently, he doesn't surprise her with gifts, and their dates are pretty lackluster compared to what she had with Jake.
Boo hoo. I'm
Cry me a
sorry,
river.
but boo hoo.
Cry me a river. I mean, what did you expect? What did your sister expect, OP? Be for real now. You had a wonderful relationship. There were no issues with it. You got up and decided to cheat. You broke up with your long-term boyfriend who treated you really well. And now you're crying because your affair partner doesn't treat you well? Like, what was the logical thought process here? Like, see, this is something I will never understand. Why do people cheat but then look for traces of their ex in their new partner? Like, is that a common trope? I'm confused. Because if you like these things that your ex did, like AKA like your loving long-term boyfriend did, why did you cheat on him? I mean, I guess one can make the argument like Emily just never really loved Jake that much to do that to Jake. I would laugh too. Does that make me a mean person? I would laugh. I'm sorry, I would laugh. It's clown behavior. Oh my gosh. Now, Opie says, last week while I was on the phone with her, she started venting about how she feels unsatisfied in her new relationship. I don't know what came over me, but I just burst out laughing. I mean, she cheated on the guy who literally worshiped the ground she walked on, and now she's complaining about the new guy not measuring up. It just sounded so absurd to me. Emily got really upset and told me I was being insensitive. I tried to explain that I wasn't laughing at her pain, but I felt like poetic justice given how she treated Jake. Now she's barely talking to me, and I'm starting to feel bad. Am I the hoe for laughing at my sister's relationship troubles when she cheated on someone who treated her like a queen? No. Just no. If anything, I have more respect for you, OP, for laughing. Because it's very easy to condone your relatives and close family members' wrongs and say, you're so right, girl. Yeah, like you definitely dumped the guy who treated you like a princess. And yeah, you're so right for the affair. And yeah, you deserve to have a wonderful partner after doing all that. I mean, I I think some people would actually do that. Like the whole, oh, I stick with my girls or my family members no matter what. I just not in situations like this. This is just the wrong way to go about it. So I'm very glad, OP, that you honestly told your sister the truth. She's the Lulu. I don't know. I'm not saying that Jake, the ex, is owed a continuing of the relationship, but I think everyone in a relationship deserves the respect of, hey, if your partner's not feeling anymore and they want to break up, then okay, break up, then you move on. You don't cheat and then complain about how your affair partner isn't treating you exactly the way your ex did. It just feels a little bit wonky here.
I think cheating is one of those things where if you do that type of thing, I don't know if I could be, I guess, friends or
Close to you, like
yeah, or be close to someone like that. It's just more morally, I can't understand. I can't condone that, and I cannot.
would you tell her though? Or would you kind
Uh,
of like just like distance yourself?
I think depends. I don't know how would that conversation go. Yeah, so I'm gonna distance myself from you because you are
A cheater?
yeah a cheater. I don't know. That's just I would say it probably would happen. I guess naturally, in the sense I would not participate or would not hang out with her as much. I mean, you might say this is like too harsh or
I don't think so.
I don't know. To me, it's like I don't know. Even though that person is family, I think a lot of times a lot of people overlook a lot of bad,
Yeah,
immoral, even illegal activities just because they're
that's
family.
true. I would feel I think it would be really hard because I have a sister, right? And I I'm close with my sister and it would be really hard to imagine distancing myself from her. But at the same time, I think it wouldn't be like a whole I'm cutting contact with you over this. But I definitely okay. No, I think I would distance myself. But I would do it after telling her to her face why I'm doing it. I'm just going to tell you why. I don't want to leave some sort of vague like thing in the air. I would just tell you, hey, sis, you're Delulu. You had a really good thing going on. You ruined it. You effed up. And this was just really bad. So until you get over your Delulu-ness, I will not be talking to you for the foreseeable future. Bye, sis. Like, I'd probably go that route. Because this is, I would feel residual guilt in some weird way, you know? Like, it's almost like if I knew that my family members did something bad, illegal, immoral, whatever you want to call it, and like we're still buddy and hang out all the time, and we just, and like I just go along with it, like whenever it's brought up, I'm just like, yeah, that's okay, that's okay. I would start to feel guilty by association because I'd be like, I don't support this, but like I'm close to you, but I don't support what you're doing. So to relieve my own stress, I think I would distance myself.
I mean, at some point, uh, at the same time, I guess I just want to add that people, I guess, can change and,
Yeah,
in a sense, can be,
be better. Yeah,
well, not be better, but they can be sorry about what they've done and change in that regard. So I don't know. I think it would be possible for me to, I guess, reconnect with my sister or rebuild the relationship.
yeah,
If
I
that
see
was the
that.
case.
Makes sense.
It's just I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like an absolute like, okay,
Oh yeah,
we're
yeah.
done forever. It's more like, man, I'm currently temporarily uncomfortable with you right now.
Yeah.
It's more like
It will
that.
take me some time, I think, to.
I think so. So first comment we have from Existence Raisin. Not they she destroyed a near perfect relationship to be with someone who barely cares. She brought this upon herself. It sounds like poetic justice to me too. Another comment. Not they I'm also laughing at your story about your sister. Her karma for Chino and Jake came so fast. Haha. I have to say, I agree. I never understand this. Like, I've seen it a lot where high school sweethearts or really long term couples or relationships, sometimes it happens where one partner goes, what else is out there? For me, relationships are kind of, I don't know, they're pretty, like whether or not you want to be in one with your partner is pretty black and white in the sense of you love me not. You know how like the flower, people pluck the flower? Not that that's how I decided my relationship with M guys. I wasn't sitting plucking flowers going, yes, he loves me not, like in relationship, not in a relationship. No. But it's just hard for me when I read stories and I hear people's experiences where some people go, I never got to explore my options. That is so weird to me because it's almost like, I mean, people aren't vegetables, you know? You're not grocery shopping, picking for like different veggies. And you're not saying that you want potato soup for the rest of your life when you haven't tried out lobster bisque or something. You know, I don't think it's like that. But I'm seeing that a lot of people are saying some of their experiences being like, oh, what if I missed out? I never had a wild phase. I never explored. But I mean, if your relationship is fulfilling as is to you, I don't think you would be missing out. You know, you shouldn't have the feeling of missing out in a relationship. And if you do, then maybe it warrants a conversation, but not you literally going to pick out another vegetable or going to have an affair or finding someone new. You know? Does that make sense?
To some sense, I just want to, I guess, clarify one part. So, I guess when you're dating someone, it
Yeah.
is kind of like you're grocery shopping. You're picking out.
Are you saying I'm a vegetable?
No, if you were to follow that analogy, right?
Yes.
When you're dating, I guess not dating, but I guess in the process of dating,
Yeah.
maybe going a couple dates with someone just to see if you kind of want to proceed with that. But I guess what you're saying is after you are in the relationship,
Mhm.
it's just not fair, in my opinion, to the other partner to be like, well, let's put our relationship on a pause. I'm gonna go date other people. That just to me is kind of like at that point I think you're ending the relationship.
Yeah. I think bottom line, like people gonna have different opinions, but there's one thing that I'm old school. I don't budge in as if you want to go be with someone else, go be with someone else. But after you end this one first, like have the end, then start anew. That's just weird to me that people start jumping ship when they haven't actually like, I don't know, made a declaration, made an announcement like, hey, we're breaking up.
Well, are you saying making it publicly or just between the two parties involved?
Between the two parties.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, that should probably be the norm, that you would want to end the relationship, or at least maybe some people are okay with taking a break or pausing it, but that's just your own preference. But I guess the other action is, I guess, would be considered cheating, right? If you don't let the other person know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, some people might argue that even during breaks, you're not technically supposed to be seeing other people either. Like some people take breaks in their relationship, right? Which is also a confusing notion to me, because what does that mean, you are taking a break in a relationship? Like, are you single now? Are you perusing? Are you shopping? or browsing, as one might say? Or like, it's weird. So I don't know. I'm curious what people think about this. Like whether what's the normal rules when it comes to taking a break in relationships? Like what's the status like, and what would your advice be for a OP here? And are you mad that OP laughed at her sister's troubles? Because technically, oh, your sister's sad. You got to comfort her. But then again, your sister was in the wrong. Now, that was our last story, guys. I hope you enjoyed our readings today. And if you did, don't forget to like this episode and hit subscribe, guys. We are so close to 3K. And if you're listening to me on Spotify, don't forget to give me 5 stars. Thanks, guys. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.